October, Saturday. When I woke up today, I could tell something was off. First, I'd usually hear Rodrick's band practicing or Manny throwing a fit downstairs, but the house was dead silent. Second, the sun was red and the sky was orange. I thought that was pretty weird, but it wouldn't interrupt my Twisted Wisdom marathon at least. That's what I thought. Damn, it's hot, guys. I went downstairs for a quick breakfast, thinking I'd run into someone on the way. But nope. Mom, Dad, Rodrick, I didn't even see Manny. I made a bowl of cereal and went to watch some cartoons on TV. But the TV wouldn't turn on. I checked to see if it was plugged in, and it was. So I had no idea why it wasn't turning on. In fact, it seemed like the entire house didn't have electricity. Nothing was working. I figured Manny must have messed with the fuse box again, so I went down to the basement to investigate. When I opened the door, though, I was tackled to the ground. It was Rodrick. When he saw it was just me, he got up and apologized. I told him to explain himself, and he did just that. Rodrick woke up to loud thumps from the first floor. He thought it was his band coming over for practice, so he went upstairs as fast as he could. But it wasn't his band. It was a monster. He watched as the monster went into the first floor bathroom, followed by a flushing sound. He was so scared that he decided to hide out in the basement until he was sure it left. He looked real shaken up. I asked Rodrick to describe what the monster looked like, and instead of saying anything, he grabbed a piece of paper and a pen and drew it instead. My goodness. I told him the monster was gone by now, so we had nothing to worry about. We looked around the rest of the house, but we couldn't find Mom, Dad, or Manny. As for the red sun, neither of us could explain it, but we figured it'd be best to stay inside for now. With the electricity out, I only had books to keep me busy. Sunday. I didn't get much sleep last night. When the sun set, suddenly everything was working again. Phones, radio, the TV, we even had the internet back. Rodrick says the red sun must have been interfering with all those signals like in the movies. We turned on the TV to see what was on the news, but we didn't find anything. All of the major news channels were dead. I called Rowley to see if he was okay. I was relieved when he picked up. When he woke up, he couldn't find his parents anywhere, and when he tried to go outside, he got burned. So he stayed inside all day. Nothing was working inside his house either. At least it's not just us. I asked him if he wanted to stay over with me and Rodrick, and he said he'd be over in a few minutes with his stuff. I asked Rodrick what we should do, and he said until we know more, we should stay here and fortify it. It might blow over in a few days after all, so we shouldn't get crazy yet. When Rowley came over, he said that he heard noises coming from the woods, like a big animal was walking around. We told him about the monster Rodrick saw, and that terrified Rowley for the rest of the night. We spent all night fortifying the house and gathering anything we could use as a weapon. We worked late into the night, and when we finished, no one felt like going to sleep. We just stayed up watching Star Wars movies. It was nice, pretending everything was normal for a few hours. When the sun came up, everything stopped working. Rodrick hit the nail on the head with his theory. We weren't sure what to do. We couldn't go outside and nothing was working, so me and Rowley played board games in the basement. Rodrick was sleeping. He was tired from them doing most of the work last night. We can't live like this forever. Eventually, we will at least need to get more food. I tried to put on a brave face for Rowley's sake, but I'm not the only one thinking this. I think Rodrick is having similar thoughts. He's just acting for me and Rowley. Even Rowley must have had this cross his mind. He's pretty dim, but even he's not that stupid. I'll think about it later. Monday. A lot has happened over the last few hours when the sun set. We decided to get some fresh air. We didn't stay out there for long though. Rowley started to get scared, so we had to go back in. About half an hour later, there was a knock at the door, and Rodrick told me to go answer it. I opened the door and got a face full of Fregley. "Hello, friend." He said he was over here to check on us. With the current situation, his mom was getting worried that the neighbors might be in trouble. He They also brought over some home-cooked food his mom made for us, which was the only actual food we have had for 2 days. None of us can cook. That's why you guys need to learn how to cook, bro. Cooking is a life skill that y'all need, bro. Rodrick asked if he or his mom needed anything, just to be polite, but Fregley said they were fine for now. I was surprised how normal Fregley was acting. I guess the whole situation scared him straight. When he left, I saw Rodrick take out a piece of paper and write something on it, but he wouldn't let me see it. If I had to guess, there was a list of people to avoid. If I was making that list, I put Fregley on it too. Damn, bro. Like, justice for my boy Fregley, bro. He's just being nice. Tuesday. Here's everything we know about the situation. There are monsters roaming around, sometimes in the woods and sometimes in people's houses. There aren't a lot of monsters though, or we would have encountered another one by now. The sun is red. When the sun is up, don't go outside or you'll get burned. We're not sure if the sun can kill you though. During the day, all electronics are useless. Radio signals, cell service, internet, the power, all of it's down. The water and plumbing still work, and electronics with batteries are still usable, like a phone you charged the night before. During the night time, everything goes back on, but the police are unresponsive and the internet is so slow that it's more frustrating than helpful. Everything else works fine though. There's more we don't know. We know almost nothing about the monsters, but one thing at a time. I found an old comic from my first year of middle school. It was my original Creighton, the Creighton comic. It's weird to think that was nearly 4 years ago. Creighton the Cretin by Greg Heffley. Hi, my name's Creighton. No, it's not. Your name is Stuart Pid. Apes? Hi, I'm stupid. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I used to laugh at these back in the day. I started looking around for other comics. I made so I could put them together in a folder. I'm still pretty proud of my old stuff. End of chapter 1. It's pretty good so far. Wednesday. Today we finally decided to split. We're leaving Plainview and venturing out into the great unknown. We spent yesterday packing and we left at around midnight. We're not sure the fan windows will protect us from the sun, so Rodrick said we should play it safe. I didn't really feel like leaving so early in the morning, but no way I'm gonna get left behind. Rodrick said gas shouldn't be a concern since we could just siphon it from other cars, and if we really needed to, we could steal some from the station. Rowley wasn't so hot about that, so I tried to explain that if we wanted to survive, we'd have to do whatever it takes. And he started rambling on about what Joshy would do, and I started to tune him out. Joshy would, yep. I miss my family, mom, dad, even Manny. Never liked them while they were around, but now I just want to see them again. I don't care anymore that Maddie shoved a cookie in my game console. I don't care anymore that mom tried to make me read All Yellow or something like that. I don't care anymore that dad tried to send me to the military school. I missed them. Friday. I had no time to write this yesterday. Everything went to pot. I'll start at the beginning. On the way out of Plainview, we picked up Siraj Gupta. He said his parents never came home on Saturday, and he's been looking for a group to join ever since. It was kind of weird, but no one had an issue with it, so we hopped in. But as soon as we got out of Plainview, Rodrick's van suddenly flew off the road. Something had T-boned us. We hit the ground hard. The van tumbled down a hill until it was slammed to a tree. Rowley was crying. Shrug was screaming in a language I couldn't understand. And Rodrick was digging around the front seat for something. Then Rodrick pulled out a gun. He got out of the van and shot into the darkness. A horrific shriek came from the darkness before something scurried away. It must have been one of those monsters. But I never knew though it would actually try to take on a van. I asked Rodrick where he got the gun, and he said he got it from Dad. Well, kind of. Before Dad married Mom, one of his favourite hobbies was hunting. This was one of his old hunting rifles. I thought he got it from one of Dad's Civil War reenactment things. Never knew that about Dad. Began to wonder what else I didn't know about my family. But we had more important issues, like the van. Thankfully, the fan was still right side up, but the engine wouldn't start. Great. The fan was broke. After getting the cuss words out of his system, Rodrick said he could probably get it running again before morning, but we should set up camp just in case. If it took longer than expected, we didn't want to get caught up in the sun. Rowley muttered something about how we should have never left Plainview. Just to be nice, I said I would go into the woods to look for firewood while he and Chirag set up camp. I usually make Rowley do it, but he seemed like he needed a break. I wish I wasn't so selfless though. Trust me, the woods are scary enough when there aren't monsters hunting you down. When I got back, the campfire was set up and they even built a fire pit. Rowley said that one of the monsters had actually tried to get into the tent after they set up, but Rowley managed to drive it away with the hammer. Yeah, get away, monster, get away, get away. Soon, we got a fire going. Rodrick told us to sleep, but we all said that as long as Rodrick was awake, we'd stick it out with him. He appreciated that. But before Rodrick could finish, that monster came back. Aho came back for round 2, and this time he had backup. From what I counted, there was 5 of them. There was no way we could take them all on. I figured Rowley would have collapsed from fear or something, but he darted into the woods faster than I had ever seen him run. No! Me, Rodrick, and Chirag all hid in the van. Rodrick told me to grab the gun from the back just in case. I thought I was going to get something cool, but it was just a tiny pistol. I guess it's better than nothing. The monsters slammed into the van, I guess to try and get us out. This was like Vietnam all over again. Suddenly, they stopped. I thought for a second they had given up, but how wrong I was. The fan was somehow lifted off the ground and thrown into the woods. I flew out the window and came face to face with monsters. I froze up. Being that close to something like that is sure to mess a person up, but luckily I had the gun that Roger gave me. I saw the thing right in the eye and it screamed and ran away. The other 4 followed it. I was relieved they went away, but Chirag said they might come back, and with greater numbers, so we should find a place to hide. I said we should go back to the camp, but Rodrick just had to bring up Rowley, and how we shouldn't leave him to die. He had a fair point, so we split up to look for him. But we couldn't find him, and we spent at least an hour looking, but we all knew that the sun would be rising in a couple of hours, so we all headed back to the camp. We all hid in the tent as the sun rose. Chirag barely made it in. Maybe he should be thankful he's so short. We couldn't really do much in the tent though. Had a couple portable video games we could all take turns with, and Chirag had a Mad Libs book on him, but that wasn't gonna last all day. Plus, we were all still worried for Rowley. It was heck. The tent was trapping all of the heat inside, so it felt like a sauna, and soon we were all getting pretty restless. I'm just glad the pig wasn't with us. It really would have turned into a gas chamber. When the night rolled around, I actually leaped out of the tent. It was a relief not being trapped in there. At that point, we were all so tired and relieved that we just fell asleep. I know we should have been looking for Rowley, but we were tired. Cut me some slack. But sleeping was a big mistake. For whatever reason, we completely forgot about the giant monsters roaming around, and I woke up to Rodrick screaming that monster had him by the leg. It was dragging him into the forest, and it had a few of his buddies with it. I went for the pistol, but I couldn't find it. Before I knew it, Rodrick was gone. That's enough for today. Saturday. We found Rowley. Well, okay, I jumped ahead a little. Let me rewind. End of chapter 2. After what happened with Rodrick, we decided to just go back to Plainview. We couldn't go on even if we wanted to. Maybe one day we could try this again, in 5 years or something. We got to Chirag's house in the nick of time. Just as we shut the door, the sun peeked out over the other houses. It was really unfortunate for the stray cat hanging out on Chirag's lawn. We didn't do much after that though. I occupied his guest room and took a nap for the rest of the day. And who knows what Chirag was up to. I woke up at around midnight and went downstairs for something to eat. I hadn't eaten in 2 days now, and now that I think about it, I made myself a sandwich and figured I would eat it outside. Enjoy the outside air, you know? Wasn't the sun out? Oh, it's nighttime. Plus, I had a lot to think about. I still do. For all I know, I could be the last surviving Heffley. I could be one of the last people on the earth. If people were disappearing as fast as Rowley and Rodrick, how long until I'm next? I didn't get much thinking on, though, because I heard a scream come from the woods. Ah, help, help, help! Shrug must have heard it too, because he came running out to see what was going on. For some reason, he smelled a lot like bleach. Must have gone to his brain too, because he said we should go out to check. We should go check it out. I told him he was crazy before I was gonna go into those woods. But then he said I owed him for sleeping with his mom. What? He got me there. We went out with a couple of flashlights, and after some looking around, we found Rowley. I literally kissed the fella. It was great seeing him again, but it was also kind of disappointing. If I were to magically find anyone in the woods, I'd want it to be Rodrick. Whatever. At least we got one of our friends back. Damn, this guy does not care about Rowley like that. Shrug demanded Rowley spill the beans on how he survived. I must admit, I was curious too. 3 days with no food or water, and being out in the open with a situation like ours. After Rowley bolted from our campsite, he ran until he tripped on a tree root and face planted into some mud. He was covered in it from head to toe. He tried getting up, but he just tripped again, and again, and again. Eventually, he did manage to get up, but by that point, the sun had come up. He got back in the mud, praying the sun wouldn't kill him, and it didn't. Somehow the mud was protecting him. And that's how he survived. The monsters somehow didn't notice or care he was there, and the sun didn't burn him. Shrug said that sort of made sense because hippos basically do the same thing. After eating something, Rowley said he was going to get some sleep. Understandable, I guess. The sun was going to be up in a few hours anyway. Oh, that reminds me of like The Walking Dead when they were covering themselves in the walkers or the zombies' guts to blend in, and the zombies would just ignore them unless they actually did something to provoke them. Monday. Flip, 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 frick, frick, frick. Shrug tried to flipping kill us. What the heck? What the hell aren't they? What the hell bird on? What the hell berry? We barely survived. Holy crap. It basically happened like this. I woke up to the sound of a chainsaw and Rowley screaming. I went to investigate and found Shrug trying to carve Rowley. Ah, Greg, stop squirming, Rowley, stop squirming. Just let me do it quickly and you can be at peace. Ah. I shot at Shrug out of instinct, but my dumb eye missed. Now he knew I was awake. He dropped the chainsaw and pulled out his own gun, and we got into a shootout. I ran out of bullets and had to go back to the guest room to reload. I nearly dropped the spare bullets. I was shaking so much, I was able to reload, but not quick enough. Drop the gun now, Greg. Explained that the world was all about survival now. The three of us would need a lot of food, lowering his chances of survival. But if it was just him, and he had 4 carcasses to survive off of, he could live for months. What the flip? Holy crap. Shark was a damn cannibal. That explains the bleach smell. What happened to Mr. and Mrs. Gupta? I nearly threw up right then and there just thinking about it. Shrug was about to end me right then and there. Luckily though, Rowley came to my rescue. Apparently he got free and thought it was a good idea to make a Molotov cocktail. Not only that, but the idiot dropped it. I was about to say, I didn't know Rowley was on that type of timing, but he's still clumsy as ever, bro. Shrug heard the bottle break and turned around, giving me enough time to grab my gun and shoot him. Damn. Rest in peace, Shrug, bro. R.I.P. Don't ask me how Rowley knew how to make a Molotov, because I've got no clue. All I know is that it gave me time to shoot Shrug and the house was catching on fire. I ran downstairs and found Rowley trying his best to put the flames out, but if I'm being honest, it was just making them worse. I told him to get to the garage so we could get out of here before we burned up. The fire was the least of our worries though. I guess all the noises and light began attracting those monsters. I could hear them galloping from the woods towards the house. I'm just glad Rowley didn't hear it because he 100% would have fainted. We found the garage pretty quickly and picked out the nicest car. The only problem was that we didn't have any keys to it. But thankfully, Rodrick taught me how to hotwire a car back in 7th grade. We sped away at full speed, slamming into any monsters that got in our way. It was even worse than when Rodrick ran down Manny. What? What are these like crazy backstories? Hopefully, things will start looking up. Now it's just me and Rowley. Tuesday. Frick. How's our luck so damn bad? What the actual heck? Rowley says I should calm down, but how can I? We're stuck in the damn car in the middle of the day. Battery dead and out of gas. Frick. You know what really sucks? You know what sucks absolute dear? Today is Rowley's birthday. Thanks to Shrug, Rowley will be spending his birthday in a flipping car, about to die. You know what? No. It's not Shrug's fault. At least not fully. I'm also to blame. If I'd been better, maybe if I'd been kinder, then this could have been avoided. Damn it. Damn me. Whatever. Hopefully we can survive the day. If not, I guess this will be my last entry. This is Greg Heffley, signing off. End of chapter 3. Saturday. I should probably start with how I got in this situation. First of all, let me get something straight. This is my actual handwriting. I usually make it look bad on purpose so people expect less of me. But since this is just for me, I'll make it look actually nice. As for the drawings, yeah, I'm just stealing Greg's style. I can't draw nearly as well as him, so I'm just gonna imitate his style. I think it's kind of neat actually. About 2 weeks ago, my family disappeared with the exception of my younger brother, Gregory. I tried my best to toughen him up. Goodness, I hope it worked. We were trying to leave Plainview, go explore and maybe meet up with a group of survivors, but we failed. The Grouts attacked. Yeah, that's what I decided to call them, Grouts, because they kind of look like the grout between bathroom towels. I'm pretty clever, you know. One of those flippers dragged me into the woods, nearly tore off my leg. But luckily, I managed to break free. I don't think it noticed because it just kept on galloping deeper into the woods. After that, I decided the best thing to do was just go back home, since I figured Greg and Chirag would do the same. Oh, if you're wondering what I'm writing in, I stole one of Greg's spare journals from under his bed. He's got a lot of them. It's kind of concerning. Anyway, I want to go to sleep. No. First I'll make myself something to eat, then I'll go to sleep. Yeah. Sunday. Greg hasn't come back yet. I'm actually getting worried about the little twerp. OP and his baby hippo of a best friend are okay. You know who did come back though? Bill. He and a couple of other members of the Dab stopped by today. Morning, Mr. Heffley. They were covered head to toe in mud, which was pretty sick. Make a good album cover. Like all of us lined up, covered in mud, that would be cool, I think. What was I writing about? Oh yeah, Bill and the gang. Apparently they were a part of a group of survivors down in Slacksville, and they were over here looking for survivors. They offered to take me over, but I told them I couldn't. My little bro was missing after all. They said Greg is probably dead. I hope not. He might be a wimp, but I think he's got a little fight in him. I think. I told them to come back in a couple of days, and if I'm not dead, then I'll go with them. That was good enough for them, and they sped off, looking for others. Maybe they should have packed out a bigger car. There was a fire tonight. It was kind of far away, so it was hard to tell what exactly was on fire. All I know is that it attracted all the grouts in the area. Monday. Still no Greg. I'm hoping he's okay, but sooner or later, I'll have to face the facts. I know Greg is capable, but still. Not much happened today. I just made myself something to eat, watched some movies on the portable DVD player and slept. A good day, honestly. You know how I said not much happened today? Well, ignore that. At least 5 grouts broke into the house. Don't ask why I'm in my underwear. I'm currently in the basement, hiding and preparing. My arsenal hasn't been raided, thankfully, so I should have no trouble cleaning them out. Tuesday. I got all of them except one. He's a tough beatard. Nearly killed me a couple of hours ago. Luckily I distracted him with Mom's bedtime box. Call me crazy, but I think he's the same one that attacked us a few days ago. The one I shot. I didn't know animals could hold a grudge, but he picked the wrong rockstar to hold one with. I'm finishing it now. Let me tell you, he was one tough son of a bee. He ate my minutes like popcorn and hit like a baseball bat. A metal one too. He even threw me across the room once. Almost flew out the window. But just as he was gonna eat me, I shot him square in the eye. The bullet went straight through his brain and out the other end. Finally, it was over. Stay back! Frick, I'm bleeding everywhere. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't get onto the journal. But crap, Saving Private Ryan got nothing on me. In me. Sorry, Greg. Wednesday, I blacked out a couple of minutes after my fight with the Grouts. When I woke up, I was in a van with Bill, Ward, and a couple others. They came for me around noon. I told you, I'd rather die than give these guys up. You couldn't pay me $1 million. I wonder if bands can still get popular in an apocalypse. Oh yeah, kind of bleeding out. They did what they could, but they said I needed to see the Slacksville doctor. I've never seen Bill drive this fast, and he usually goes double the speed limit. Oh, I almost forgot. Found an old picture of me and Greg, back when he was in 6th grade. I think, yeah, he was a total dork back then. He's definitely toughened up now. Crap, blacking out again. I saw the Slacksville doctor. First of all, Slacksville's doing pretty well for itself. Walls, giant floodlights for the night. They even had currency. The doctor said everything was fine. Some disinfectant, some stitches, and I was good as new. My future is looking up now. I hope one day I can find Greg. But until then, I'll take what I can get. Thursday. Crap, the scouts just came back saying they saw a small skinny kid and a chubby kid together in a car about 30 miles outside of Slacksville. That's gotta be Greg and Rowley. Don't worry though, bro. Loaded diaper to the rescue. Thursday. I'm not sure what happened exactly. All I know is that me and Rowley ended up passing out in Mr. Gupta's car. He probably would have died had it not been for the loaded diaper fleet. Speaking of loaded diaper, Rodrick is alive. Rodrick? Is that you? When I asked him how, he said I could read his own journal, which I didn't feel like doing, at least not right now. Apparently, I'm in Slacksville. This is where I lost survivors in the area I've been rallying to, which is probably why Plainview is so empty. Let me tell you, it's changed a lot since my last trip here. They built walls around the entire town with people patrolling 24/7 to make sure none of the Grouts get in. Yeah, they call them Grouts. Pretty sure Rodrick came up with it. They were using the same trick Rowley figured out so people could patrol the wall, but it's only effective for an hour before more mud needs to be reapplied. Because of that, only the guards are allowed outside during the day. Yeah, Rodrick has his own place now. After Bill vouched for him, he was given his own residence, which is pretty cool. It's not the case with everyone though. Rodrick just got lucky. 1. On the first day of every 3rd month of the year, Slacksville residents shall elect 7 people to make up the council. 2. You must be 13 years of age or older to run for the council of Slacksville. 3. A Slacksville resident cannot run for council twice in a row. 4. Every day the council shall meet to discuss issues and ideas created by or afflicting Slacksville residents. 5. The council shall make or approve no laws that conflict with any of the previous laws. 6. Slacksville residents shall vote in the Capitol building from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. on the first day of every 3rd month. 7. All Slacksville residents shall treat all other Slacksville residents, regardless of age, race, or gender, with basic human respect. 8. Do not go outside past 6 p.m. or after 6 a.m. unless authorized. 9. Any outsiders are to be detained and evaluated by the council unless a Slacksville resident vouches for them. They had a whole list of laws too, but they were all really basic stuff like how the government worked and how you should be kind, essentials I guess. The only one that got me was the last one. 10. Any Slacksville resident caught breaking these laws will be exiled, no exceptions. Guess I gotta be careful around here. Friday, Rodrick decided to grow out his facial hair. I don't know if that's a good idea though, because yesterday he got a 5 o'clock shadow by 3. Maybe that's why Rodrick and his band carry around shaving cream cans. I met the council today. Well, sort of. I saw them in the Capitol building, which is just a repurposed pizza place, and go look at them. As much as I'd love to run for council, the next election isn't until December and we're only halfway through October. It's nice not having to worry about grouts, other survivors, or food anymore. Slacksville has a couple farms, and if we need to, we have a group of scavengers that patrol the areas around us for food. Safe to say, life is looking up. Saturday, I should probably explain what happened to Rowley. For whatever reason, the council didn't trust him, so for the past couple of days he was under evaluation, but he was released today in order to live with me and Rodrick, since we were the only people he knew. I overheard a couple of guards saying the grouts have gone more aggressive from hunger. That makes sense. They must have picked the local wildlife clean by now, and without people caught out in the open, they have nothing to eat. Hopefully the council thinks of something to keep us safe. Slacksville was cut into 7 different sectors, each one with a specific purpose. Sector 1 is farming, Sector 2 is energy, Sector 3, 4, and 5 are all living space, Sector 6 is the market, and Sector 7 is the government. All of this is surrounded by a 12-foot wall. In all honesty, it's more like a fence, but they tried their best. It works against the grout at least. I think it might also be electric, but I'm not brave enough to test it. Sunday. Some new Rodrick news. For one, he's finally figured out his facial hair. Now he's just got a mustache. More importantly, he's been selected by the council for the next scavenger run. They were impressed by his performance while saving me and Rowley. Apparently he was vital in that mission. It might be rough not having Rodrick around for a couple days, but I'm sure me and Rowley can do without him. Besides, it's only for a couple days. Monday. Rodrick left today. He and a few others I didn't recognize. He should be back in a couple days. Me and Rowley were assigned to work on the farm. They said that sending miners to work at the energy plants was immoral or something. That's fine with me because farming can't be that hard, right? It was hard. We were working in the dark, so it was hard to do the job well, which we were told was crucial. It was probably just bad luck or something because I think I was the only one having any issue. Either way, we just finished up. The sun will be up in a couple hours. Can't wait for a good day's sleep. Tuesday. Well, flip. Grouts attacked, and a lot of them. A whole damn army destroyed the fence. A few of them definitely got fried, but the rest were peachy keen. We tried to defend. We did our best to stop them, but all we had was gardening tools. The guards had their guns, but they were killed in seconds. I hid behind a large rock and prayed the grouts would ignore me. It was a bloodbath to say the least. They only started clearing out when the sun came up, which obviously presented another problem. Flipping great. I'm trying to make it to one of the supply sheds so I can wait out the sun. Crap. I think the ink on the page is melting. It's so damn hot. I made it to the shed. I can't find Rowley. I looked where I could, but nothing. I'm so thirsty. The sun is like a sponge. It sucks up all the moisture. I think End of chapter 4. Wednesday? Well, great. I'm potentially miles away from Slacksville. Huge puddles of ink have dried to my journey. I'm using a little cutie pencil to write in this. And worst of all, I'm all alone. The last thing I remember before going unconscious was some hilly-billy looking guy coming at me with a brick. I guess I have him to thank for the situation. Wait a minute. That guy's belt. That hilly-billy was one of the Mingo kids. That makes so much more sense. They must have kidnapped me and missed the chaos to eat me or something. But evidently, it didn't turn out too well. I won't draw it, but just know it's pretty sick. A bloody scene, right out of Hello, You're Dead, or The Foot. I can only assume the grouts got to them before they could take me back to their camp. But why didn't they kill me too? Thankfully, it's night while I'm writing this. The moon is high in the sky, so I'm guessing it's around midnight. That gives me some time to think of something. I'll update this as I make progress. I think I got something. I'm not anywhere near Slacksville, but I might be close to Plainview. It was the Mingos that kidnapped me, and they don't usually travel far from the woods they live in. I can hide out there for the day and prepare for my journey back. Sunday. My house smelled so bad that I could smell it a block away, so I decided to stay at Rowley's instead. The door was locked, but I remembered the secret entrance me and Rowley made in the backyard that led me to the basement. When I got inside, I found a digital clock that read 2:49 a.m. Sunday. I was out longer than I thought, nearly a week. It's nearly November too, which is fun, or would be if I wasn't alone. I got no idea where Rowley or Rodrick are, and I already had to kill Chirag. No matter what, I always ended back up here. No matter what, I always end back here, and with less friends than the last time. Rowley could be dead for all I know. I'm tired. I'm gonna take a nap. When I woke up, I went around the house to see if there were any supplies left. It had been a minute since I was over at Rowley's. I wanted to know what I was working with. Spending nothing, I guess. We got some ham chews, silver fox adult diapers, what the flip, lard, quail eggs. Yeah. Monday. No one should ever have to eat a tub of lard to survive. Hopefully I can find more food somewhere, but all of the cabinets and drawers are locked, so I have to make do with what I've got. I also need a weapon. I've been doing a lot of thinking recently. At first I was pretty sad that my family had seemingly vanished, but now I'm kind of relieved. Imagine how difficult this would have been if Manny had tagged along, or if Mom or Dad did. They drag us down. Since Dad is gone, I don't have to worry about him seeing this next part. I thought of this for a while, but these last couple of weeks really confirmed it. Rodrick has been a better father for me than Frank. Mom was no better. She favoured Manny and made no attempt to hide it. It's no surprise that Manny turned out the way he did. With Frank being a wacko and Susan spoiling him, I think anyone would have turned into that little zit he was. Tuesday. Why does this always happen to me? Every time I find safety or refuge or whatever, something goes wrong. Damn it! A gang or cult or whatever called the Cupcake Club are making their way down the street, raiding houses for supplies. I know this because they won't shut up. Damn it! I'm sure Mr. Jefferson kept a gun around here somewhere. Riley told me all about it. Wait a minute, they're safe in the master bedroom. I should have looked there first. I just need to use the universal passcode and I'll be strapped. 8008. Yes, it worked. I got the gun. One problem though. It's only got 6 bullets. Damn it. I guess this is a last resort thing. I hate being limited like this. Shoot. I heard the door break down. I forgot to hide somewhere. The Cupcake Club went through the house. Crazy beatards kept yelling and even inside, breaking and stealing anything they could carry. They even took the second tub of lard. I'm not complaining or anything, but still. I managed to remain undetected. They nearly found my hiding spot, but decided looking in Mrs. Jefferson's underwear drawer was beneath them. They're really missing out. What? No way am I touching that, bro. It was really nice finally catching a break. It feels like the other 1,000 times something went wrong these past couple of weeks, the Cupcake Club would have found me and fed me to their pigs or something. But something tells me this won't be the last time I run into these guys. Wednesday, I have some good news. Except, no actually, because nothing goes right for me. The food supplies have been ransacked. Even the Oreos I hid in Mr. Jefferson's gaming PC were stolen. If I don't find some food soon, I'm going to starve. And after everything I've survived so far, I refuse to go out by starving of all things. I contemplated cutting off my arm and eating it or something, but the chainsaw Chronicles was probably stolen too. Anything other than a clean cut would really F with my arteries, according to Mrs. Gupta. She was freaky. Oh yeah, I forgot they did the thing together. Thursday, I searched every damn house in the area from top to bottom, and nothing, not a scrap of food. Those damn cupcake crackers took it all. I have no choice. I got to get out of here. I can't drive. Not legally. Not actually. Nothing. But I gotta try. Because unless I can pull it off, I'm gonna die. I've driven before when we escaped Chirag, but that was more out of instinct. This time, I can only rely on my wits. Friday. Driving was a lot easier than I thought. Maybe it's because I didn't have to worry about other drivers, but I got the hang of it pretty quickly. Now, what am I going to do? I could try to find Slacksville again, but that place isn't exactly safe. Even so, I have to go back. At the very least, so I can get Rodrick and maybe Rowley if he's alive. And if something happens to them, then I guess I'll blaze my own trail from there on. Get out of the state and make a life for myself. Either way, I'm done being stuck in the same area forever. Done with being the same person controlled by the same people in the same place. Goodbye, Plainview. Forever. End of chapter 5.